I used to spend 5-6 days a week in the gym, and I would go and I would do 8 or 9 exercises each time, and it would take me around an hour and a half. And I was one of those people who was just living in the gym. And I found that I could make gains doing this, and I did make some decent gains, although they actually weren't that great at all. And I found that once I started to actually respect my rest and recovery a bit more and drop down the amount of time I was spending in the gym, I found that my workout sessions were so much more productive. I had so much more time, and I actually started to make a lot better results. My physique started to look a lot better. I could build a lot more strength a lot easier, and just overall, I just really enjoyed going to the gym and my fitness journey so much more. So I've realized that people who prioritize going to the gym 5-6 days a week and they work out for long periods and long sessions, a lot of them actually are taking steroids. And if you're a natural bodybuilder, then this is way too much stimulus and it's just going to work against you. So in this video, I'll go over how you can stop wasting your time in the gym, how you can make your workouts more productive to get the best return on investment. So working out 3 days a week, this is something which a lot of people in the fitness industry will say isn't enough volume or you're being lazy. But the reality is that working out 3 days a week is absolutely perfect. If you're someone who strings workouts together day after day in a row and you go 5-6 days a week, even if you can string it so that you're not hitting the same muscle groups back to back, your nervous system is still going to be fried. There's going to be far too much stimulus on your nervous system. Your body's just going to start to break down. And your ability to consistently go into the gym, build PRs, and continually build muscle is just going to be severely hindered because of this. Because you haven't given yourself enough time to rest and recover. So I found that 3 days a week is absolutely perfect because it's enough stimulus on your muscles to grow, but you've also given yourself enough time to rest and recover, and you're respecting your body a lot more. So muscle isn't built in the gym. It's actually built outside the gym with proper rest, proper amounts of sleep, and proper nutrition. So if you're someone who's constantly in the gym just pushing hard, you might find that when you're in the gym and when you're hitting your muscles, they wouldn't actually be fully recovered. So your ability to actually make strength gains is going to be severely hindered. And I've also found that your level of motivation and your level of energy you're bringing to the gym is just going to be super compromised. Just because you're not looking forward to it, your body's under stress the whole time, you're constantly tired, and it's just not a good feeling. So I've found that cutting back from 5-6 days a week and doing a 3-day split, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 upper bodies, 1 lower body, this is absolutely perfect, and this has actually made me the most amount of progress because you're tailoring your workouts to hit PRs each and every time you go to the gym. And the only metric you should be looking at is, are you getting stronger? If you're not getting stronger and increasing the weight or the amount of reps you're doing on each exercise, then you're just not going to be making progress. So I found that this tailoring your workouts and your routine around getting stronger, around optimizing your rest and recovery has really helped save me a lot of time, and also it's made me enjoy working out a lot more, and it's made me a lot more progress. So another thing I was doing which was completely wrong was I was working out like 7, 8 or 9 exercises per workout. And the reality is that this is just way too much volume, and that you actually only need 4 to 5 really good exercises per workout. And anything more than this, you're just creating a net negative where you're going to be carrying over far too much fatigue, and the amount of stimulus you're actually getting on your muscles past this point is just going to be severely compromised anyway. So there's not that much point in going past 4 or 5 exercises. So I found that research has shown that the first set you do on each muscle group is 70% of the total muscle stimulus. And then the second set is 90% of the total muscle stimulus you can get. So if you're doing anything above this, the fatigue to stimulus ratio is actually kind of working against you. And if you go too extreme, it's just going to create a net negative overall. So I found that in order to create the stimulus, you only need 2 to 3 hard sets per muscle group. And there's only so much you can do in the gym. So if you've already done this and you've already hit the muscle and created that stimulus, if you continually just add on more and more exercises, keep hitting the same muscle groups over and over, which is what I used to do, you're just creating very, very little benefit, and you're also creating a lot of fatigue, which is going to continually backfire in your upcoming workout sessions. So I found that if you just cut your workouts back to 4 to 5 exercises and just hit each muscle group 2 to 3 hard sets per session, then this is really going to create a huge benefit where you're going to get all the muscle stimulus you need, and you're also going to be able to leave the gym not fully exhausted. You're not going to be tired the whole time. You're not going to be sore constantly. And overall, you're just going to feel a lot better. One other mistake people make when they add on too many exercises is that they start rushing through their workouts because they think that more is better, and they think that if they get more exercises in, it's going to lead to more results. This really is not the case at all. It's actually a lot better to do 2 hard, intense sets than to do 5 sloppy sets where you haven't rested enough, or you're not training intensely, you're not going close to failure. And the more sets you do per exercise, the less likely you are to actually push yourself to failure because you've got too much fatigue and it's not possible. So I found that if you just lower down the amount of volume you're doing and focus on just doing 2 or 3 really hard, solid sets, your intensity is going to go up. And this is really where growth lies. It's in these last few reps where you get closer to failure, where you really start to actually build muscle. So this is called effective reps, which is the idea that you're only really building muscle in those last 5 reps in each set where you're getting closer to failure. So if you're optimizing your workout and you're just doing 2 really solid hard sets and you're going intensely and you're training really close to failure, you're going to get all the stimulus you need. And you really don't need to be doing all these sets and all these different exercises. And I found that when people do start to do this, they just start to cut out their rest times so that when they're working out and when they go back to do the next set, they're not actually fully recovered, their heart rate's still too high, and it just severely hinders the amount of strength that they have and the amount of weights that they can use, which is really going to lower the amount of mechanical tension which they're going to be able to put on their muscles when they're working out. So this just works against you in so many ways, going high volume. You're rushing, you're causing too much fatigue, and you're not actually adding any more benefit. So I found that if you lower the amount of volume, just really go intense, go close to failure, and do 2 or 3 hard sets per muscle group, this is all the stimulus you're going to need, and this is going to be absolutely perfect for muscle growth. Some final points which I wanted to mention is sleep. This is absolutely vital if you want to burn fat and build muscle. This is where you really actually build muscle. It's where you're sleeping. This is also where you build the most amount of testosterone. So you should really make sure that you're getting to bed at the same time each and every day, so your circadian rhythm is lined up and you get the highest quality sleep. And I would recommend sleeping for 8 to 9 hours a night. Also, nutrition is super important for your overall energy, your hormonal health, your gut health, everything. So I highly recommend sourcing 80 to 90% of your diet from single ingredient, organic, natural whole foods. Things like chicken, steak, eggs, raw milk, honey, nuts, olive oil, butter. Things like this, which are just completely natural, unprocessed, and are going to really help with your energy throughout the day. Lastly, daily movement is super important. You should be making sure that on your rest days, you can still go outside and go for a walk, go out and get some sunlight on your skin, which is really going to help regulate your mood, your hormonal health, and your mental health. And it's also just going to really start to thin out your fat as well, because walking is a really effective tool where it's not going to create more hunger, but it is going to burn a moderate amount of calories. So I highly recommend not doing this on the treadmill, going outside, enjoying yourself, going for a walk in a park or in a reserve, in a forest, and just making sure that your daily movement and the amount of sunlight you're getting in each day is also there as well. So if you can implement these habits, you're going to make so much more progress. You're not going to be wasting all your time in the gym where you have a net negative, where you're sore the whole time and you can't increase your strength and increase your muscle. And you're going to find that overall, your muscle building journey is going to be so much more enjoyable and you're going to make so much more progress.